Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. As promised, as y'all can see, this one is all about our term for books. Now, I have tried to keep all of my videos sub 15 minutes. The way me and books work, I don't know if that's gonna happen. So listen, get your little cup, get hydrated, settle on in. Okay, so what is this in front of me? Let's just start here. These in this book are our family read aloud. So our family read aloud for this term is The Secret Garden. We discussed this in term 3, friends. Yes, I make matching bookmarks. Do you have to? Absolutely not. Is that required? Of course it is not. Does it add dopamine and fun and excitement? Yeah. Okay, so reading The Secret Garden. How can I say this? The Secret Garden has some problematic dialogues and themes. And the goal is that my children see it, hear it, and understand why it is problematic. We are also then gonna compare it with The Secret Garden on 81st Street. Let's talk about how I found this on accident during our travels in Boston. We went to the library because bibliophiles out in the wild. Okay. Saw this out in the library, had no idea. Baby, I put this on hold so fast. So we'll be comparing it with this, but also we will have these various picture books to highlight kind of some of the problematic things in the book, learning about the culture being different. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go through these picture books as well. So what I am hoping to do is that while we're reading this, okay, so read some of this picture book, read some of this picture book. When we're done with this here, we're gonna bring it full circle. That's my hope. I'll let you know if that happens. And in this house, books have a way of just taking over, okay, and making their own space, okay. Our books for history, I will show you. So this is James's the book he is reading for history. He started it in term 3. I'm sorry, I don't think he started it in term 3. I love this. This is 1493, the young people version, and it is a world view, okay, of things we really, and I guess the way I was taught, consider like American history, but this is from a world view, and I just love the way this teaches the narratives and how we are learning and going through it is drawing the connection points and understanding that the way we see something and the way another place might see something, even though it's the same thing, are completely different. And on the flip side, it might be completely the same. So this is James's history. And then to go with the history unit I created, these are the picture books. Even though, listen, my children love a novel, love an audiobook, a podcast. I kid you not, nothing beats them cuddled up. This was not supposed to be, this snuck in here. I just picked this up for science, like a fun read. If you watch the past video, this was for like that the Curiosity Friday, stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, so these are to round out our history unit. Okay. Just while we're here, what I am reading as a homeschool mom this term is The Joy of Slow by Leslie Martino. I have started, stop. And not because of anything with this book. It is because it is so incredibly wonderful that I legit have to like pause, reflect, and then life. So I actually went back a few chapters, and I'm working through that. I so far highly recommend it. The book I read the first term, the books I read that were related to my mothering and to homeschooling. You feel me? So term 1, I read All About Love by Bell Hooks. I don't know what I read term 2 and term 3. But here we are, term 4. Okay? Got it? All right. Now. This is James's book bin. If you can't tell, I'm in a learning room now. I'm sitting at James's learning table. And okay, we went through this. This is his history, all right? And for geography, now, y'all, okay, you see this bookmark. It doesn't match because this says the National Park Mystery Series, Discovery in the Great Sand Dunes National Park. The way our library, okay, is set up, this book that I put on hold that I'm number 1 in line for, a month later, still not available. So we had to pivot. And bless the interwebs, because I didn't even know these existed. Now, these books individually are much shorter than the National Park mystery books. So I just I got both from the library. And this is the Campground Kids series, and each is at a national park. So the first one he will read is the Grand Teton National Park, and then the Smoky Mountain Survival, Smoky Mountain National Park. And for both of these, he'll basically, the activities are, they're basically the same. So I'm just gonna go through here. So he has a little field guide, okay, a little clipboard, all right. And then he has a map of the national park. So as he's reading, he's going to come in and map what they're doing, where they are. And then when he's researching, he can denote like things that are popular, things like that. Anyway, so mapping skills. All right. What is this? Oh, this is about the national park itself. We are entering research skills, and with our library, in our library, homeschool moms can get, sorry, my mom was calling me, I love you, Mom, but homeschool moms can get a teacher library card. And with the teacher library card, you have access to the web systems, databases, tools, tutoring, instructional guides, all of that the local public school has access to. And so I plan on utilizing that for researching, solely because of, we have just had issue with, like, if you will go to Google it, it's a lot that can come up, okay? My child is neurodiverse. We can get off track real fast. And then I just like that this teaches like kind of like web-based encyclopedia research skills. So anyway, it has a infographic about the national park. Here we have the ecosystems in the park. So climate, habitat characteristics, flora, fauna, interaction, threats of protection, and then an animal profile. So an animal that is in that national park, he can choose, have added, and then a hiking safety checklist. Now, if you know James, you know that baby is into survival. Okay, so that's why that list is so long, because he's not gonna have, just like water and sunscreen, a hat, he okay, so he has the hiking checklist, and like I said, and then he's also gonna make a visitor guide. I actually think this will be kind of like the challenge for him, and that challenge in a good way. Okay, because I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. He is going to have to delve beneath the surface, but then report it briefly, if that makes sense. So, safety tips, must-haves, activities, and the must-see. And then again, he has those same things for, Smoky Mountain National Park. The only thing I didn't do for Smoky Mountain National Park was another hiking checklist, because I think they'll be very similar. And I will use that as a teaching opportunity to be like, is there something that you would add specifically for Smoky Mountain? Is there something that you feel like you should not bring? Things like that are here. And then I also, when he finishes, I have a National Park Ranger application. And, he could kind of make like his little park ranger ID, stuff like that at the end of both of the books. So that, and I printed the maps from the National Park website, but then everything else I created in Canva. For literature for James. Ooh, excuse you. You can go in here now. Great day. It's been a little testy. For literature, we are studying fantasy, and we have for James, The Last Map Maker. Now, we were able to meet this author in October, and when I tell you he flew through the Legends of Lotus Island series, both of her memoir graphic novels, and so I've had to hide this, okay? So we are going to, obviously it's fantasy, so we're going to learn about the genre characteristics, looking for those in the text. But then also, I really want to use this as an opportunity to kind of jumpstart more subject-based writing for him. So we began creative writing, I think, at the end of term 1, and we did it very, very slow, very, very gradually. And the child who, not even a year ago, I don't like writing, I'm not a writer, can you scribe for me? I all the things, like, I don't know, like the clouds opened up, Sarah McLachlan started singing, and everything changed. So. And he's even asked, like, well, what if I came up with a story about, and mommy, do you think if I wrote a story, like, just all this stuff. Anyway, so these are the activities that go with it. So he has like discussion questions and things like that, and then things that are very specific to the text. So this one, create a map maker journal, right, to just record key discoveries. So we're going to draw a map of Si's journey so far. This is for the journal entry. And the thing is, like, I'm working on other things too. So there's a time where, like, just seeing these lines, he would have already felt defeated. And so I want him to know that he could write I had to put down an anchor in this town because of a storm, and that's enough. That's fine. I'm not looking for grammar or anything like that. Just getting you in the mindset of, like, kind of like a log, if you will, right? And then I've made this to begin the writing process. I love pre-writing. I think it is so helpful. I think if you can do outlines and they work for you, that is amazing. I think the majority of people work a lot better with other forms of pre-writing. And so this one is about writing on Sai's feelings about starting her journey. So just feeling, emotion, all right? And then I have guiding questions for each one. And this is for each week. So then a paragraph, topic, sentence, support. This is another graphic organizer. And then 3 supporting sentences, and then a concluding sentence. And then space to write it. Yes. I use the primary lines because that's my business and I can if I want to. And then we have just like things like read it out loud. Does it sound right? Did I explain how Sai feels? Did I stay on topic? Can I add more about why Sai feels this way? Stuff like that. And then it starts all over again for each week. So this week we have like a ship log. There's you illustrate something. So it's just stuff each week here. And again, I created this cover in Canva. When you add images, you can, it'll kind of populate colors from the image. So that's how I'm able to do these. Like color match so precisely. And then for science for him, this is another one that he has been itching to get to. Now this author, I hope I'm saying this right, Steve Shankin. I'm sorry. I like a lot of his books, and so he is reading. I don't know if I said this or not in this video, or if you're new here, we're studying chemistry and science. So he is reading Bomb: The Race to Build and Steal the World's Most Dangerous Weapon. He is also had all the things about war weapons, war vehicles, things that were used in one war that weren't used in another war. I'll process how I feel about that later. But in this book, and one thing about, even in narrative nonfiction, nonfiction text features matter. Okay? And a lot of people don't pay attention to them. Okay? So in our narrative nonfiction books, I got this, by the way, from so our local homeschool consignment store had 2 locations. One of the locations was closed and had a sale. So I ran up on in there with my little list. Got that. And so similar to all the other things, I don't do well with loose paper. So that's why you see this with the clipboard in the folder. Again, matching. Is it necessary? No. Do you have to do it? No. Is it going to make you more successful? That is subjective. Okay. Does it make us feel good? Yes. Okay. Now, so definition snapshot. Create a 4-panel comic strip that illustrates the vocabulary words he's going on with. A blueprint for a spy gadget that might have been used during espionage during the Manhattan Project. So this is incredibly specific. So in his readings, he has to know what the Manhattan Project is, understand its goals, its failures, its flaws, what was used, and then come up with something that could have been used. You see what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? And those continue throughout. We got some mapping, some other stuff, all of that in here. At this point, when he has finished the book, I feel like we will be able to have a conversation kind of about the cons and the devastating effects. There are some activities alluding to that, but because this is a science read, I wanted the activities to focus on that, but I just need to tell y'all that I'm not neglecting the other part of that. Okay, see, I'm glad I made this a second video. This is already so long, and okay, last one, guys. What? Last one. Okay, this is Jude's book bin. Okay, so again, because we're studying fantasy and literature, you guys saw our family read aloud James's. And so for Jude, he will be doing Magic Tree House Night at Dawn. This is a wonder book. I don't know if you all are familiar with those, but it like reads to you. For our like online, not database, catalog, for our online catalog, you can filter it by book plus audio. And these will come up, but Jude's reading has improved a lot. It really has. I'm really proud of him. But we will still obviously go through this together. And then I think for a recap for him, I'll let him listen to it. For geography, I told y'all we're into graphic novels. So he will be doing I Survived the Attack of the Grizzlies. This was in Glacier National Park. So he will be learning about Glacier National Park, about bears, mapping, and his will be in a comic book format. So his activities, it is like a comic of, you know, things you need to do while camping in an area that's populated with bears, steps on what to do if you come in contact with a bear, stuff like that. Okay. And then that will lead to us like hypothesizing and researching. My goal is to actually get more library books, picture books about this. And so for Jude, we'll kind of hold off on the specific web-based research for now. That doesn't mean it's not coming, but for this one, that's what we're going to do. And for science for him, he has Mario and the Hole in the Sky, How a Chemist Saved Our Planet. And so for last term, his dystopian read was a graphic novel. And in the graphic novel, global warming took over and so many people succumbed to what they called sun sickness. And they determined that an excretion from, or secretion, I don't know, from a monarch butterfly kind of like was the cure. And within that, we were able to discuss like what global warming is in more detail, because obviously he knew it in a broad way. Its effects on people, the environment, and that means like animals, the oceans, things like that. And so what I realized is that he did not know about the hole in the ozone layer. Like that's very like generation specific. So we'll be doing this, and definitely we'll add in like some YouTube videos, maybe even some podcasts and things like that. And then he just has a little biography timeline report. I'm just going to have him do kind of like the date or the year and a picture about what happened. And that is Is it? Yes, that is it for our term for reads. This has been great. I love you. And I will talk to y'all in the next one.